Elden Ring strength builds are usually centered around Cragblade, Lion's Claw, and Giant Hunt. But in this video, I'm going to show you another weapon skill that is definitely viable, just as good, has really great stance breaking potential depending on the weapon class you put it on, and it's going to be one of the tankiest builds I've made. Hello everybody, it's Ocelot, and today we're going to make a build around the pickaxe centered around the weapon skill Prayerful Strike. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together this build at the very beginning of the game before fighting any boss. Other than the weapon, which can be obtained immediately after getting Torrent, everything is pretty much ground loot. I'm going to show you locations of where to pick up everything. The only talisman you're going to be missing will be the Shard of Alexander, but that's an end game item anyways. The reason we're going with the pickaxe is because it deals 100% pierce damage, which means every time you're using the skill to trade out with an enemy and you have the spear talisman equipped, you're going to be getting almost an extra 50% extra damage per hit. The weapon is a great hammer, which means it has good stance pressure, has a relatively good moveset where it does downward chops on the light attacks and the heavy attacks. It only weighs 10 units, has a very low dexterity requirement of 10, which means that we're going to be going all into strength, vigor, and endurance to make sure that we're as tanky as possible in dealing maximum damage. As for the weapon skill Prayerful Strike, I think it's one of the ashes that aren't talked about enough. For 20 FP, your character raises the weapon above their head and chops straight down, which again, since we're using the pickaxe, will be dealing 100% pierce damage. You're going to have great hyper armor, which is going to help you poise through many enemy attacks. You're going to deal 36 stance damage, and the best part is that even though you're trading out, you're going to be healing 30% of your health every time. Yes, 30%. So whether you have 20 vigor, 30 vigor, 60 vigor, you're going to be healing back 30% every time you use the weapon skill. It's a really solid and fun build, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Before I show you all the locations of where everything is at, let me show you on screen everything we're going to be picking up. In Limgrave, you'll want to pick up the pickaxe, the strength tier, the green spill crystal tier, the green turtle talisman. Venturing into Liurnia, you'll want to pick up the spear talisman. And last but not least, in Altus Plateau, you'll pick up the featured Ash of War, Prayerful Strike. Now I'll show you where to pick up all these items on the map, recommended starting class, recommended starting stats, and if you'd like a more in-depth guide on where to pick up early upgrade material for both the base game and the DLC, I'm going to link a video in the description. For starting class, I recommend you go with the Vagabond. However, the hero is also a viable starting class. For the keepsake, I like going with the Golden Seed to start off with the extra flask right away. After you talk to Melina and get Torrent, just southwest of this location will be Limgrave Tunnels. Here, you're going to encounter plenty of miners that wield the weapon that we're looking for. The perfect farming spot is going to be down the first lift. Before you get to the boss, there's going to be approximately 6 miners. Go ahead and farm them. If they don't drop the weapon right away, that's not a problem. Just go to the next lift that heads to the boss, jump off, choose to be revived at the Stake of America, and rinse and repeat. It does have a 2% chance to drop, so you may get it right away, or it might take you a few attempts. I believe it took me approximately 15 minutes of farming these 6 miners. Just north of that location, starting at the Stormhill Shack site of Grace, go northeast to this location, and you'll find the strength tier. When you mix it in the Wondrous Physic, you'll be getting plus 10 strength for the next 3 minutes. From the Third Church of America, head south. At this minor Erd tree, we're going to find a couple of Physic tiers. We'll be interested in the Green Spill Crystal tier, which is going to boost our stamina by 15% when we mix it in the Physic. For the Green Turtle Talisman, you can head northwest from the Third Church of America or east from the Saints Bridge site of Grace. We'll be going into Somewater Village. Make sure you have a stone sword key to open up the cellar. Once you open it up, just go ahead and waltz in. There's going to be a door with a chest in it. In that chest is going to be the Green Turtle Talisman, which is going to boost our stamina recovery speed by 17.5%. Journey into Liurnia to the lakeside crystal cave. We're going to be looting a chest to pick up the spear talisman. This is going to boost our pierce damage by another 15%. Remember, we're already getting an automatic 30% because our weapon does pierce damage. Once you enter Altis Plateau, head directly east into the capital outskirts. Directly east of the outer wall Phantom Tree side of Grace, you're going to cross a body of water. You will want to wrap around and go underneath this crossing. You're going to see an invisible scarab, but you'll see the foot tracks. So just go ahead and position yourself where the foot tracks are going to be crossing. Get your weapon ready. Hold down the heavy attack. And as the scarab crosses your weapon path, you're going to get our featured Ash of War Prayerful Strike. Now, let me show you how to easily get close to 100,000 runes. First, go to the first step side of Grace and head directly south. On this mark, there's going to be a spirit spring. You're going to want to jump on it or near it. If you don't land on it, don't worry, you won't die, but you'll find a gold pickle foulfoot. This is going to give you an extra 30% runes for the next 3 minutes. But first, head directly south from the Bridge of Sacrifice side of Grace. Near this area, there's going to be a broken down caravan. In the rear, there's going to be a weapon that has passive bleed as ground loot. We're going to be using that on a sleeping dragon in Dragon Barrow to get those 100,000 runes. The most direct way to get to this dragon is to head to the Third Church of America. Just north of it, there's going to be a teleporter that will take you to the Bestial Sanctum. Follow the road south. You're going to cross a bridge. You're also going to cross a minor Erd Tree and an Erd Tree avatar. You'll get to Fort Ferrith, and in this area is going to be our sleeping dragon. Equip the great mace that we got from the caravan. It is going to take a few minutes, and if you could find some blood grease, it will go a lot quicker. Go ahead and wail away, and once you see that the dragon is about to die, use your gold pickle foulfoot, and as you see on the bottom right of the screen, you're going to get over 96,000 runes, which we're going to be using to put into levels and to level up our weapon. I recommend you put 13 points into vigor, 4 points into endurance, and 8 points into strength. This will allow you to one-hand your weapon, and with 28 vigor, you're going to be able to tank most enemy attacks and will leave you with over 12,000 runes, which will easily be able to upgrade your weapon to plus 12 as long as you pick up all of the smithing stones that are ground loot. Again, there's a link in the description if you'd like to see an early game route uncut guide for picking up smithing stones 1 through 5, which will allow you to get your weapon up to plus 15 before you even fight Margit. Other talismans that I recommend that you pick up as you progress through the game are going to be the Ritual Sword Talisman. This is going to give you plus 10% to all damage when your HP is at full. I also recommend that you pick up the Shard of Alexander. This is a late game item, however, and it will boost your skill damage by 15% when you have it equipped. Another item that I'd like to mention from Limgrave that you can get relatively early is going to be the Golden Vow Ash of War. This is going to boost all damage by 11.5% and damage mitigation by 7.5%. The last item you'll need for this build is going to be the Iron Whetblade. This is going to be located in Stormvale Castle, so you won't be able to get it until after you fight Margit. But by the time you fight Margit, you're going to be overpowered anyways. So after you fight Margit, go ahead and pick it up. Change the affinity to heavy. By going with the heavy affinity, you're going to be able to use different types of greases on your weapon or weapon buffs such as Blood Flame Blade or Electrify Armament. Another viable affinity is going to be the Flame Art affinity, which you can switch between Flame Art and Sacred with the Red Hot Whetblade. This is going to be ground loot in Redmane Castle. You can pick it up before you go into Altis Plateau or after you deal with Radon. Basically, the festival cannot be going on for you to be able to enter the room where the Whetblade is located. If you go this route, you'll basically have a Strength Faith build and you'll be able to use various incantations. You can pair it with the Erd Tree Seal. You won't be able to buff your weapon, but you will definitely have a well-rounded and versatile build. And that's going to be it for our video. What did you guys think of the early game build? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what kind of early game builds you all like to do. Do you like dexterity, intelligence, faith, arcane, hybrid builds? Is there any other kind of early game build you'd like me to make a video on? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to catch me live, I stream Monday through Thursdays here and on Twitch, doing different challenge runs or different Souls games, different FromSoft games. That's going to be it. Hope you have a good rest of your day, afternoon, evening, or night, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.